Shankaracharya Guruvaram Jayami Jyotirmayam. Welcome to all of you. The Vedas have been revived and preserved for us not only by great Adi Shankaracharya. In recent times, we owe this revival of Vedic tradition to two great souls. One was Kanchi Mahaswami Mahaperiyava, and I know personally a lot of stories related to how he struggled to revive the Vedas. And as an example, I can give you just one example, that there was one shaka of Samaveda that was almost extinct. A few shakas have been extinct, but there's one shaka, there was only like two Samavedis of that one shaka that were in existence, and they were also not teaching it simply because they had to make a livelihood by doing some job because the Vedas was not paying them. So they were working as a salesperson in a cloth store. So Kanchi Mahaswami, Mahaperiyava, Chandrasekharendra Saraswati found those out, made them teach the Vedas, teach that particular branch of Samaveda. So that's only one example. So if you go in Tamil Nadu today and other places like Satara, it is to his credit. There are so many Veda Paఠశాlas that are thriving and the students are being supported. It's mainly due to his efforts. And the second great soul that I like to remember today and give my gratitude is my own Guru Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, under whose guidance many Veda Paఠశాlas were started. I have the humble honor of telling you that I started a Samaveda Paఠశాla in Chennai at Kalki Gardens with one Samavedic teacher, was a good teacher, Ramasubramaniam. He was the teacher there. And it's a great honor for me, privilege for me to try to revive this tradition in whatever smaller ways that we could. Before we really do that, there are certain questions that needs to be answered. And those questions have been in the minds of most of the people. And what are these questions? Where did these Vedas come from? Did somebody sit down under a tree and write these Vedas? Did somebody sat in a kutia, wrote these Vedas? Did somebody sit in a hut or went to a forest and wrote these Vedas? Where did they come from? They didn't come from any of these sources that I mentioned. Nobody sat under a tree to write the Vedas. Nobody sat in a kutia to write the Vedas. Nobody went into isolation to write the Vedas. So where did they come from? We will answer this question. Now, having gotten the Vedas from wherever we got them, who should practice them? That's another question. Who should practice them? Who is eligible to practice them? And who is going to answer these questions? And the third major question is, why do we have to learn these Vedas at all? A big question. Why do you have to spend your valuable resources and time to learn this? So now where do you go for answers to all these questions? The only place that I would go is the Vedas themselves. Because I can tell you that this saint said this, that saint said this, he said this, he said that. But the most authentic sources for answer to these questions is the Vedas themselves. What are the questions? Where did the Vedas come from? The second questions, where do they exist now? And who can practice? Third questions, why should we practice it? So we will seek this answer right from the Vedas themselves. And here is one of my very favorite words from the Rig Veda, Sutram 164, Mantra 39 in Mandala 1. Riksho akshare e parame e vyoman yasmin deva adhivishve e nisheduhum yastanna veda Kimrita karishyati yayittad viduhuttayime samasate. There's the answer to the first question. What is the first question? So the Vedas answer this first question, where did the Vedas come from? This tells you very clearly where it came from. So once it tells you where it comes from, then it automatically negates the other places. So where did the Vedas come from? Vriksho akshare parame vyoman. Rikshas and the Aksharas, they stand for the Vedas. Rikshas, the syllables, and the Aksharas. Akshara means something that never dies. Kshara, Akshara. So the Rikshas and the Aksharas, where do they come from and where are they? Parame Vyoman, they are in the field of transcendence, they are beyond intellect, beyond mind, in the field of Suddha Chetana, pure consciousness. Parame Vyoman. And what else is there in that pure consciousness? Yasmin Deva Adi Vishve Nisheduhu. In that pure field of consciousness, not only the Vedas there, not only the Rikshas and the Aksharas are there, the gods and goddesses of all the whole cosmos, the cosmic goddesses, Adi Vishve Nishedu, gods and goddesses of not only India, not only America, not only Venezuela, not only Africa, not only Europe, not only this world, Adi Vishve Nishedu, because there are many planets. If only you know a little bit of astronomy and astrophysics, it's mind-boggling to see how many universes are there, how many worlds could be there. So the Vedas knew this. So that's why they say, Yasmin Deva Adi Vishve Nisheduha, the entire cosmic deities and devatas are there in that field. Not only Vedas are there, but all the Devis and Devatas, the gods and goddesses of the entire cosmos are there. That is why in Tamil and pretty much in India we say, Muppattu Mukkori Devargal, 33 crore Devas. What do? They do different functions. Like sometimes when we discuss Rudram, we discuss this, how different jobs are assigned to different deities. Not only, there's not one or two of them. So all these Devis and Devatas are also there in the field. Now this is the fact. What is the fact? That the Vedas are in the field of transcendence. So when they tell you the Vedas are a field of transcendence, when they tell you where they are, it automatically negates the rest of the other places. If somebody tells you, I live in Miami, it automatically the answer is he is not living in New York. If somebody tells you, I live in Delhi, automatically he is not living in Hong Kong, right? So when the Vedas tell you that we are in the field of transcendence, that means automatically the answer is they are not in the palm leaves, they are not in the books, and they are not even in the minds of the person who is memorizing. That's not really where they are. But where are they? They are beyond the mind. Parame Vyoman, where the gods and goddesses are also reside. Okay? So having said that, the Vedas give you a very clear warning. Here is an answer to your question, that this is where we are from. If you don't know this, yasta na Veda, na Veda, Veda means to know, na Veda, yes, if you don't know what we just told you, kim riksha karishyati, what the Vedas can do for you. Riksha means Vedas. Kim karishyati riksha, which means nothing. Vedas cannot do anything for you. So if you don't know this, that the Vedas from the Shuddha Chetana, from your pure consciousness, just close his books away and go. Don't chant it like a tape recorder. You have to know this fact that the Vedas from the Shuddha Chetana, that's where we are from. If you don't know this, Vedas cannot do anything for you. Yastane Veda kim riksha karishyati. That's why no wonder we have so many people chanting the Vedas. But if they don't know this fundamental truth, there's nothing much Vedas can do for them. But then if you know this truth, yayittad viduhu taime samasate. If you know this, they who know that law, it is they who thus are seated or established in wisdom. Answer to your first question. Very good. Second question. Who should practice the Vedas? Now, Vedas told you they are in the field of pure consciousness. Is there any human being without consciousness? If you are alive, you tell me. No. Every human being kind of has consciousness. Even a buffalo has consciousness. And that's exactly why that great saint from Maharashtra, a little boy, 12-year-old boy, when he was refused because of some idiotic reasons, even though he was a Brahmin boy, he was refused Gyande. He was refused a holy thread. And you know what he did? He just called a buffalo from the side of the road, and the buffalo chanted the Vedas. It's history. Buffalo chanted the Vedas because there is consciousness in buffalo also. So, Again, continuing this line, where they come from, we just be more precise. They came in a state of samadhi, from a pure consciousness, Shuddha Chetana, God consciousness. They came from the silence of samadhi. Silence spoke, and Vedas were heard. Shruti. And this is what Vivekananda would say. They're apaurushaya, of non-human origin. Apaurushaya means, Purusha means human, not man. Purusha doesn't mean man. Purusha means human. In whom, in Pura means in the city of body, where the being, that Brahman resides, that is Purusha. Pura ushati iti Purushaha. So whether you're a man or a woman, it's all human beings. So it's non-human origin. Why do we say non-human origin? Because they came from consciousness. And consciousness does not have any identity. Man, woman, no. So apaurushaya, that's the Vedas called apaurushaya. They're not of the senses. Vedas were not a burst of emotion, or where Vedas are not an intellectual outburst. But on the other hand, they came from the silence of samadhi. And so how did they come? A rishi sat in samadhi, tapas, went into the Shuddha Chetana, then he saw, he cognized. That's why rishi is called a drishta, mantra drishta. We don't say Vishwamitra composed Gayatri mantra. We don't say that. We say Vishwamitra cognized it. Vishwamitra, who is the mantra drishta? This is the question that we ask. Who was the mantra drishta for this mantra? Who witnessed this mantra? Which means the mantra was already there. So somebody had to go there. Who had seen, Niagara Falls is there. But if somebody hadn't seen it, you can ask who saw Niagara Falls. Somebody raise your hand, says, I did. So he was a witness. He didn't create Niagara Falls. It was already there. Same way. Somebody says, I've been in the moon, Armstrong. Yes, so he saw the moon. It doesn't mean the moon was not there. Moon was there. He didn't create the moon. Moon was there. He just saw it. Same way, mantras are never created. Vedas are never created. They are there. But whoever is able to go to the moon, same way, whoever is able to go to the pure consciousness, all our rishis went inside, they didn't go outside, because it's inside is where all the knowledge is. Is the home of all knowledge. How did Kanchi Mahaperiyava speak all the languages, including Chinese? You tell me. That he was in the Chetana. And it's amazing today that we should be talking about this, because today is Anusham. Today is also Thursday, Guruvaram. So Thursday, Guruvaram, Anusham. We are starting this. Credit to all of you who have participated, mainly to Asha and her initiative, and all of you who joined. May God bless you. And let us pray that we would carry this on as much as possible. And I would put in my 100% effort to help each and every one of you who want to learn this. Now, that leads us automatically to the second question. Mantra drishta. So rishis only saw the mantra, cognized it. So he didn't compose it as a poet, and he didn't write it as a writer. So the rishis cognized the Vedas. So once the rishis cognized it, he spoke out. He said it as he cognized it. Om bhur bhuvasvaha tat savitur bhare. That's how he cognized it. So the disciples heard it. Then he recited the same way that the Guru told him, or the Guru recited. Then the disciple memorized it. So he heard it. That's why it's called Shruti. Then he memorized it. It's called Smriti. Because that's how the entire Vedas. This is what the Rishi would say. Riksha akshare parame vyoman. The disciple would repeat twice. Riksha akshare parame vyoman. Riksha akshare parame. With proper intonation. Then he would memorize it. Became Smriti. Then because the Vedas are not understandable for the common folks, the truth in the Vedas were given out in Puranas. So that's why it's called Shruti, Smriti, Purana. But all of them speak the same truth in the same way. Nothing has changed. And there are Satyam and Ritam. They are called Ritam and Satyam. Shruti speak the same thing, Smriti speak the same thing, and Purana speak the same thing in a different style. So, who can chant the Vedas and who cannot chant the Vedas? Before I go there, there's another one. Now, because it said Vedas in the consciousness, and whoever can go there into that pure consciousness can bring out the Vedas. So is it possible to say that there was a time when there was no consciousness? Or is it possible to say that though in about 2,000, 3,000 years there will not be any consciousness? Can anybody say that? No. Bhagavad Gita, the Bhagavan says very clearly, oh Arjuna, you think I am this form? No. You think I am your little friend? No. There was never a time I was not there, Arjuna. Never will be a time I will not be there. I was always there. Lord Krishna is in the pure consciousness. Same thing. That's where the Vedas are. And that is why, however, every other religion tried to destroy this Sanatana Dharma. However, religions tried to destroy the temples, destroyed, burnt Nalanda University, destroyed the Vedic books. Did Hinduism die? No. No, it will never die because consciousness never dies. Can any one of you tell me when Hinduism started, originated? I don't think so. Every other religion you can say this is when it started and this is the person who started it. But try that with Hinduism. I'm sorry, I'm not a fanatic of Hinduism, but I'm speaking you the facts. If you say Vishwamitra started it, Vishwamitra was born as a Hindu. If you say Krishna started it, Krishna was born as a Hindu. If you say this Rishi did it, Vyasa did it, Vyasa was born as a Hindu. Vyasa only codified the Vedas. There is a wrong notion that Vyasa wrote the Vedas. No. Vyasa organized them, codified them into 4 Vedas. So that is why, however, any religion tried to destroy this because it sprang up again because it's in consciousness and consciousness is eternal. That's why it's called Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana means eternal. Good. Now where do these Vedas come from again? In exactly specific place. You say consciousness, but what consciousness? Give me a specific place, like your children ask you. I don't like that answer. Give me a specific answer. Here's the specific answer. Omkaradi samasta mantra janakam sukshmadi sukshmam param mande panchamame ishwarasya vadanam kavyapi tejomayam. Right from Omkara, the whole mantra mahodaya and all the Vedas came from one place. The 5th phase of Lord Shiva, Ishana. Ishana sarva vidyanam ishvara sarva bhutanam Brahmadipati Brahmanodipati Brahma Shivo me astu. That Brahman is Sakshat Lord Shiva, who was the originator of the Vedas, who created Brahma. Not one Brahma. Countless Brahma. Adya Brahmana. We live in a particular age of this Brahma. So, Isana phase. So that is a specific place because Lord Shiva and the ultimate consciousness are one and the same. That is why Adi Shankaracharya, who drummed Advaita all his life, 32 years, he drummed Advaita Vedanta, Vedanta Dindima, kettle drum, dhum dhum dhum, aham brahmasmi, tattvamasi, ayam atma brahma, prajnanam brahma, sarvam kalidam brahma, drumming, drumming, drumming. Everything is that Brahman. You know what he said when he was asked by his guru, first time when he met him? Govinda Bhagavad Padacharya asked him, he said, who is this little boy who saved me from this flood by containing the whole flood of Narmada river in his kamandal? Then the disciples said, you ask him. He says, who are you? Shankara didn't say who he was. He said who he was not. Mano buddhya hankara chittani naham chidananda rupam sivoham sivoham chidananda rupa sivoham sivoham. Remember, for 32 years he said aham brahmasmi, tattvamasi, I am atma brahma. But when he was asked, who are you? He didn't say aham brahmasmi, I am Brahman. He didn't say my soul, I am Atma Brahma. He didn't say my Atma is Brahman. No. What did he say? He said, Sivoham. Sivoham. Then why did he do that later on in his life? Because the avatara nokam, the purpose of incarnation of Adi Shankaracharya was to unite the divided Hindus and revive Hinduism. If he said Aham Brahma, Aham Shivoham all his life, the Vaishnavite may not have liked him, the Ganapathys may not have liked him, the Shaktas may not have liked him, the Kaumaras may not have liked him, and then the Sauram, the Saurashtra people may not have liked him because you and your Shiva, you keep it to yourself. So that's why he did what he did. But the truth is, when he was asked who he was, Shivoham. So it is from that Shivoham the Vedas came from. Shivoham, Sukshmadi Sukshmam Param. Where is he? Like exactly where is that Shiva? Sukshma, Ati Sukshmam Param. Viksha Akshare Parame Vyoman. Exactly like Rigveda said, that's where Shiva is also. Param, Parame Vyoman. Sukshma, Ati Sukshmam Param. So that's the origin of the Vedas. Panchamam Ishvara Chivadanam. That's in the form of light. That is the light of Shiva. Now, who can who can and who cannot practice the Vedas? Again, we go to the Vedas for the answer. So, this is how the Vedas describe that Purusha, that ultimate Brahman, ultimate reality. How do they describe it? Tvam Stri. First thing they say, they don't say you are a man. First they say Tvam Stri. You are a woman. Can you believe? In a country that gave such a priority to women and they were stopped from practicing and chanting Vedas. Can you believe it? Such a sad story. Right here, this is from Shvetashvatara Upanishad, chapter 4, verse 3. Comes 3, then comes your man, then comes you are the Kumara, Kumari, young person, then the old person. But the first word they say, you are a lady. If that Purusha, if that Brahman is a lady, and if that's where the Vedas, from the Purusha, the Vedas come from, so why can a lady practice it? Funny, right? You know, another great soul that we should all indebted to today is the great Swami Satya Sai Baba. But for him, many Westerners would not have even had access to this treasure. And there is one person who should get credit for the fact that the Vedas, Rudram particularly, was being chanted at the White House in America. Vedas chanting in American White House. Who could have dreamt that? Could any of us who could dreamt a few years ago, 10, 20 years, 30 years ago, that Vedas would be chanted in the White House of all the places? And not by Indian, not by priests, by Americans, Westerners. Credit goes to Swami Baba. So the answers, we don't even have to accept what they say. Answers are from Vedas themselves. So thou art the old man who totters along leaning on a staff. Thou art born with faces turned in all directions, irrespective of caste, creed. If you have that inner urge, if you have it in you, you are eligible. Again, where is this field where the Vedas are? This is where it is. Sarvanana Shiro Grivaha Sarva Bhuta Guha Shayaha Sarva Vyapi So Bhagavan Tasma Sarvagata Shivaha. That Shiva is not a place where he is not. And if there is not a place where he is not, if he is in everybody and guiding everybody from being within, and if that's where the Vedas come from, how can you say that this person cannot chant Vedas? That means you are stopping Shiva himself from reciting the Vedas. Blasphemy. Therefore, answers to the second question, who can practice Vedas? The Vedas tell you everybody can. Good. Om Namah Shivaya. And then why should we chant the Vedas? Go back to the Vedas again. Go back to the scriptures. Go back to the person who revived the Hinduism. Vedo nityam adhiyatam taduttitam karma svanishtiyatam. So that is Adi Shankaracharya in his Sadhana Panchakam. Vedo nityam adiyatam, that is his ordinance, that's his command. Every day you should chant the Vedas. He didn't say only you should chant, only you should chant. And he didn't say Sadhana Panchakam is only for this people, that people. No. He said this is for everybody, and he says my command, my ordinance is for everybody. You should chant the Vedas every day. And then do your duties as ordained in the Vedas accordingly. And then more from the scriptures, more specifically. Vedas are a huge ocean. We can't chant all the Vedas. The divine ones have made it easy for us. So they specifically picked up certain portions of the Vedas that we should chant. They say, Chamakam namakam chaiva parusha suktam tadevacha nityam trayam prayunjana brahmaloke mahiyate. Whoever chants not the entire Vedas, but at least Sri Rudram namakam. Namo hiranyabhave namaha senhanye namaha nishanchapatahe namaha vrikshebhyo namaha namakam chamakam sanchame mayachame priyanchame. And Purusha Suktam Sahasra Sheersham Purushaha. Whoever chants this, they would be honored where? Not in the White House, not in Indian Parliament. The right place where you should be honored. That's the only honor, that's the real honor. Brahma Loke. And if some of you don't believe in Brahma Loka, pick up Autobiography of a Yogi and read the chapter where Yukteswar appears before Swami Yogananda and tells him where he is, what is he doing. And he describes how many lokas are there. And this is after he was put in the ground. 3 days after he was put in the ground, he appears in flesh and blood. Come on, my friends, what are you waiting for? India, you're all from India. What are you waiting for? This is your treasure. Don't go out there, stand in a traffic junction with a board begging, I'll work for food. You are millionaires, billionaires. Treasure. Whatever means you have, utilize them. Revive your religion. This is what is going to hold you in good. Not the degrees you have, not the wealth you build. All that's without a foundation will be shaky and collapse. We have seen in front of our own eyes many Indian families. Problems. Why? No foundation. Wealth, yes. Abundant wealth. Value? Home. Thank you so much. Any questions, please? Om Sahana Bhavatu. Om Namah Shivaya. Om
Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Guru.